Have you ever considered how the words you choose shape your life and the lives of those around you? The truth is, what you say reveals who you are and what you value. One careless phrase can break trust, create conflict, or limit your own growth. But by understanding what not to say, you can transform your relationships, mindset, and even your future. Today, we'll explore 6 powerful lessons rooted in Buddhist wisdom, things an intelligent person never says. Let's begin this journey to mindful speech and meaningful living. 1. I already know that. Claiming to know everything blocks learning. Buddhism teaches the importance of a beginner's mind, one that is open to new perspectives and possibilities. Wisdom grows from curiosity, not certainty. 2. It's not my fault. Blaming others when things go wrong is a natural but counterproductive response. It often stems from the ego's desire to protect itself from criticism or discomfort. However, this mindset halts growth by shifting the focus away from what can be learned or improved. Intelligent individuals understand that taking responsibility for their actions is not about accepting blame unnecessarily. It's about empowering themselves to create positive change. In Buddhism, the principle of accountability is deeply connected to self-awareness. When we acknowledge our role in a situation, we move closer to understanding the causes and conditions that led to it. This awareness allows us to respond wisely rather than reacting out of defensiveness or pride. Blaming others may offer temporary relief from guilt, but it ultimately keeps us trapped in patterns of avoidance and stagnation. Imagine a situation where a project fails. It's easy to point fingers at teammates, circumstances, or external factors, but this approach misses an important opportunity, the chance to reflect on what you could have done differently. Maybe you could have communicated more clearly, planned better, or asked for help earlier. By focusing on what's within your control, you take the first step toward growth and improvement. Accountability also builds trust and respect in relationships. When you own your mistakes, you show integrity and humility, qualities that inspire confidence in others. In contrast, blaming others creates tension, erodes trust, and often leads to unresolved conflicts. Intelligent people understand that admitting fault doesn't weaken their position, it strengthens their character and fosters collaboration. Buddhism teaches us that suffering often arises from clinging to the illusion of control over everything. By accepting responsibility for our part in any situation, we align ourselves with reality and let go of ego-driven reactions. This doesn't mean blaming ourselves for everything. It means discerning what we can learn and change moving forward. Taking responsibility is also an act of self-compassion. When we stop wasting energy on justifications and excuses, we free ourselves to focus on growth and healing. Instead of being weighed down by guilt or resentment, we can redirect our efforts toward becoming better versions of ourselves. The next time you face a challenge or conflict, pause and ask yourself, what part did I play in this? What can I learn? And how can I respond constructively? These questions shift the focus from blame to action, empowering you to take charge of your life and your growth. By choosing accountability, you free yourself from the cycle of blame and defensiveness. You gain clarity, strength, and the ability to transform mistakes into valuable lessons. This shift not only benefits you, but also strengthens your relationships and creates a more harmonious, mindful way of living. 3. That's impossible. When someone says something is impossible, they close the door to opportunities before they even try. This mindset creates limitations that don't need to exist. In Buddhism, there's a belief that life is constantly changing, and what seems fixed today can transform tomorrow. By seeing the world as full of potential, you begin to understand that many things labeled as impossible are only temporary obstacles. For example, think about great inventions or personal achievements. Many of them started as ideas, others dismissed as impossible. Yet with effort, persistence, and an open mind, those ideas became reality. The key is not to let doubt control your actions. Instead, focus on taking small, consistent steps forward. Even when progress feels slow, remember that change often comes in unexpected ways. An intelligent person understands that challenges are part of growth. They see difficulties as opportunities to learn, adapt, and develop new skills. Rather than saying something can't be done, they ask, "What can I do to make this happen?" This shift in perspective not only builds resilience, but also opens the door to creative solutions. So, when faced with a situation that feels overwhelming, pause and remind yourself that change is always possible. By keeping an open mind and refusing to give up, you allow new possibilities to unfold. What once seemed impossible might just turn into your greatest achievement. 4. I don't need help. The idea of refusing help often stems from a sense of pride or the fear of being judged as weak or incapable. People may believe that asking for assistance diminishes their self-worth or independence. However, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a reflection of strength, self-awareness, and wisdom. Buddhism teaches the principle of interconnectedness, the understanding that no one exists in isolation. We are all part of a greater whole, and our ability to thrive depends on our willingness to support and be supported by one another. Rejecting help is like trying to paddle a boat upstream with no oars. The journey becomes far more difficult than it needs to be, often leading to frustration, exhaustion, or stagnation. Accepting assistance, on the other hand, is like being handed those oars. It empowers you to move forward with greater ease and efficiency. Life's challenges are rarely meant to be faced alone, and even the strongest among us need support from time to time. Think of the most successful or wise individuals you admire. Behind their achievements are mentors, collaborators, and communities that help them grow. No one reaches their full potential without the contributions of others. Intelligent people understand this. They see the value in learning from others' experiences, gaining fresh perspectives, and sharing the load when the burden becomes too heavy. By saying, "I don't need help," you also deny someone else the opportunity to give. In Buddhism, compassion and generosity are deeply interconnected. Offering help is an act of kindness, and accepting it allows that kindness to flow freely. When you allow someone to help you, you are not only lightening your own burden, but also enriching their experience of giving. This mutual exchange strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of community. For some, the reluctance to accept help comes from a fear of vulnerability. They may worry that admitting a need for help exposes their flaws. But vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a gateway to authentic connection. When you allow others to see your struggles, you invite them to connect with you on a deeper level, creating bonds built on trust and empathy. Another common fear is the belief that accepting help comes with strings attached, or an obligation to return the favor. While reciprocity is natural in healthy relationships, true acts of kindness are often given freely, with no expectation of repayment. Learning to accept help gracefully involves letting go of the need to control every aspect of the interaction and simply appreciating the support. In accepting help, you also model a powerful lesson for others. When people see you being open to assistance, it gives them permission to do the same. This creates a ripple effect, where asking for and offering help becomes normalized, building a culture of mutual care and collaboration. Moreover, seeking help doesn't mean giving up control. It's about recognizing when additional resources, insights, or energy can propel you forward. It allows you to focus on your strengths while leveraging the strengths of others to overcome obstacles together. In moments of doubt, remind yourself that seeking help is not about admitting defeat. It's about empowering yourself and those around you. Imagine a tree relying on sunlight, water, and soil to grow. It doesn't thrive in isolation. Similarly, by embracing the interconnectedness of life and the support it offers, you can grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Next time you're tempted to say, "I don't need help," pause and consider what you might gain by accepting it. By letting others support you, you make space for growth, understanding, and deeper connections. In the end, life becomes not just easier, but also more meaningful when you allow yourself to give and receive freely. 5. You're wrong. When someone declares you're wrong, it often triggers defensiveness in the other person, shutting down the possibility of a meaningful exchange. Instead of fostering understanding, it creates a barrier between two perspectives. In Buddhism, mindful speech is considered essential for harmonious relationships. This means avoiding words that harm or alienate and choosing ones that encourage compassion, curiosity, and mutual respect. When you tell someone they're wrong without considering their viewpoint, it invalidates their experience and shuts down the conversation. Everyone interprets the world through their own unique lens, shaped by personal experiences, values, and beliefs. What seems absolutely true to one person might appear entirely different to another. Intelligent people understand this and approach disagreements with an open mind. Instead of dismissing someone's perspective outright, they take a moment to ask thoughtful questions like, "What led you to think that?" or "Can you help me understand your reasoning?" Such questions not only show respect, but also encourage the other person to explain their viewpoint in greater depth. This often leads to surprising insights and deeper understanding. Many disagreements arise not because one person is right and the other is wrong, but because of incomplete information, misunderstandings, or differing priorities. By actively listening, you create an environment where both sides feel heard and valued. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of deep listening, listening not just to words, but to the emotions, intentions, and context behind them. When you approach a disagreement with the mindset of learning rather than winning, you transform conflict into an opportunity for growth. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything the other person says. It simply means you are willing to engage with their ideas respectfully and thoughtfully. It's important to remember that telling someone they're wrong often stems from the ego's desire to assert superiority. It's a way of saying, "I know better than you." However, no one is immune to mistakes or blind spots, not even the most intelligent or experienced individuals. Buddhism teaches the value of humility, reminding us that we don't have all the answers. By admitting this, we open ourselves to new perspectives and deeper learning. In moments of disagreement, it's helpful to focus on shared goals rather than differences. For example, if you're discussing a problem, shift the conversation to finding a solution rather than debating who is right or wrong. Statements like, "Let's figure this out together," or "How can we address this?" foster collaboration instead of conflict. There are also times when both perspectives can hold truth. Reality is often complex, and multiple viewpoints can coexist without one being completely right or wrong. Acknowledging this complexity shows emotional intelligence and creates space for richer, more nuanced discussions. It also sets the tone for mutual respect, making it more likely that others will consider your perspective in return. Another key aspect of avoiding "you're wrong" is reflecting on your own motivations. Are you trying to correct someone to genuinely help them, or are you trying to assert dominance? If it's the latter, pause and consider the impact of your words. Is proving your point worth damaging the relationship or creating unnecessary tension? Often, choosing to respond with empathy instead of confrontation leads to a better outcome for everyone involved. By replacing judgmental language with curiosity and understanding, you foster an environment where ideas can flow freely. This not only strengthens relationships, but also leads to better outcomes in work, personal life, and community interactions. The next time you feel the urge to tell someone they're wrong, pause and ask yourself, how can I use this moment to learn, grow, and connect? Transforming the way you handle disagreements doesn't just improve your conversations, it improves your character. Intelligent people understand that wisdom is not about being right, it's about being open to what others have to offer. By practicing humility and mindful speech, you'll discover that disagreements can become some of the most enriching experiences of your life. 6. I'm better than you. May not always be spoken, but it often appears in subtle forms, through attitudes, behaviors, or even the way we compare ourselves to others internally. This mindset is deeply rooted in the ego, which thrives on separation and a false sense of superiority. Buddhism teaches that such thinking is a barrier to personal growth and harmony, as it feeds into illusions of self-importance and blinds us to the value of others. When you view yourself as superior, you create unnecessary division. This mindset isolates you, fostering resentment in those around you, and limiting your ability to form meaningful connections. Superiority feeds arrogance and stifles empathy. True wisdom lies in humility, the ability to see the shared humanity in everyone and recognize that each person, no matter their background or accomplishments, has inherent worth. Comparing yourself to others can also lead to constant dissatisfaction. You may feel superior in one area, but sooner or later, someone will surpass you. This cycle of comparison traps you in a never-ending pursuit of validation. Buddhism reminds us of the impermanence of achievements and status. What you achieve today may not last forever. Clinging to these external markers of success only leads to anxiety and insecurity. Superiority often masks deeper insecurities. People who assert their greatness are often trying to fill an internal void. True self-worth doesn't come from putting others down. It comes from within, built on self-awareness, kindness, and the courage to face your own flaws. By letting go of the need to feel better than others, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of comparison and judgment. When you encounter someone who excels in an area where you struggle, it's natural to feel a twinge of envy or insecurity. But instead of letting those feelings fuel resentment, use them as an opportunity to learn and grow. Admire their strengths, and if possible, seek their guidance or inspiration. Similarly, when you meet someone less experienced or skilled, approach them with compassion, help them grow, and in doing so, you grow as well. Buddhism also emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings. We are not isolated islands, but threads in the same web of life. Recognizing this interconnectedness helps dissolve the idea of being better than anyone else. Your journey is unique, but so is everyone else's. By celebrating these differences, you create space for mutual respect and understanding. It's also worth considering that everyone you meet has something to teach you. A person you might dismiss as lesser may have insights, experiences, or wisdom that could profoundly change your perspective. Remaining open to these lessons requires humility and the willingness to see value in others, regardless of their status or achievements. When feelings of superiority creep in, remind yourself of the shared struggles and joys of being human. At our core, We all desire happiness, connection, and purpose. This recognition can dissolve the illusion of better and replace it with empathy and gratitude. Instead of striving to be better than others, focus on being the best version of yourself. Appreciate your strengths without boasting and acknowledge others' strengths without envy. Celebrate progress, yours and theirs, as part of the same collective journey. This shift in perspective not only strengthens relationships, but also brings you closer to lasting inner peace. True greatness doesn't come from elevating yourself above others, but from lifting everyone around you. Humility, compassion, and authenticity are the marks of real intelligence and strength. By letting go of superiority, you create space for growth, connection, and the kind of fulfillment that comparison can never provide. Words are powerful. They shape not just the way others see us, but the way we experience the world. As we've explored, there are certain things intelligent people never say, not because they're afraid of making mistakes, but because they understand the impact of their words on others and themselves. Buddhism teaches that mindful speech is a reflection of inner wisdom. It's not about suppressing thoughts, but choosing words that create harmony, understanding, and growth. By being intentional with what we say, we can build stronger relationships, face challenges with clarity, and nurture a life filled with meaning. Here's the takeaway. Pause before you speak. Ask yourself, will my words inspire, educate, or uplift? Or will they divide, discourage, or harm? When you speak with awareness and compassion, you not only transform your conversations, but also the energy you bring to the world. Remember, it's never too late to change how you communicate. The next time you catch yourself about to speak out of frustration, judgment, or ego, take a deep breath and choose words that reflect your highest self. You'll be amazed at how much power lies in a simple shift toward kindness and wisdom. Thank you for being here and for striving to grow. If this resonated with you, share this wisdom with someone who might need it and join me on this journey to mindful living. Together, we can make our words and our lives truly meaningful.